Peace. What's up, y'all? Sorry I'm late. I know this thing is gonna. Okay, there we go. Cool. What's up? Yeah, Fatty Black. I know I'm late. I am Lucy. What's up, Vic Shepherd? What's up, Ronan Black? What's up, Mr. Spacely? What's up, Vic Shepherd? What's up, Daniel Davison? What's up? New Jersey Progressive Indie, what's up? Nationhood Nico, what's up? Yo, Nationhood, I saw your short. Not bad. Um Nationhood Nico did a short and he sent it to me on Twitter. And I was checking it out. So y'all get opportunity to get on Twitter and check it out, that joint. Anyway, today's topic is Voteps. Do you even know what anti-establishment means? Oh, what's up, Kexia? Um, how can you claim to be anti-establishment when you don't even know what establishment means? Here's a definition of establishment. The establishment is a dominant group or elite that holds power or authority in a nation or in an organization. It may comprise a closed social group, which selects its own members, or specific entrenched elite structures, either in government or in specific institutions. You got a lot of people out here talking about anti-establishment, anti-establishment. Don't even know what establishment means. Now, in my description, I say, even if you don't follow American politics or the political system in general, from an objective standpoint, you should be able to identify a real anti-establishment political candidate from an establishment candidate, or a real anti-establishment movement from an establishment movement. Example. If you say you are anti-establishment and you vote for and support Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris, then you don't have a clue what it means to be anti-establishment. What I find hilarious and why I will never be a part of the American political system is that when the people, in quotes, actually have a chance to vote for and support real anti-establishment candidates, the people, in quotes, join in with the establishment and WWE pile on with the establishment to condemn and demonize the people that are actually fighting for and representing the interests of working class people. In the immortal words of Bernie Casey, the people, fuck the people. My cousin loves that. So that's basically the whole reason why I created this live stream. I was just a little irritated with what I was seeing in mainstream media. And sorry for the yawning. I'm tired. This is not gonna last too long because I'm fucking tired. It was pissing me off what I was seeing not only in mainstream media, but what I was hearing from regular, ordinary people, regular, ordinary, working class folks, and who these people hate and who these people support. Now let's get with Donald Trump. Most people are, well, I won't say most people, a lot of people are forced or are under the impression that Donald Trump represents an anti-establishment candidate. And that's why a lot of people voted for him in 2016 because they thought he was anti-establishment and that Hillary Clinton was the establishment. Right, they did get the part right about Hillary Clinton being the establishment. But what they didn't get right was thinking that Donald Trump was an anti-establishment candidate and any different than Hillary Clinton. See, what people don't know and what they don't do is they don't look at policy. What people look at politics sort of like, a popularity contest in high school or something. Like they like candidates based on just superficial, insignificant bullshit. And they don't really ask, well, what is this person's policy positions? And I've made this point over and over again that if you take the policy positions of the Republicans and the policy positions of the Democrats and you put them side by side, you would realize that there's really no difference between these two parties. Both parties represent mainstream corporate interest. That's a fact. And I prove this by looking at the increased military budget, the so-called resistance to Donald Trump voted for Donald Trump to have. Because the argument was that Donald Trump is unhinged maniac who has his hand on a nuclear code, who has the nuclear closed and his hands on the nuclear button. It's like he represents a fundamental threat to the entire world. So you give him an increased military budget of about $700 billion. How does that sound to you? Does it sound to you that they really have a fundamental problem with Donald Trump being in office? Nancy Pelosi even said that she raises more money with Trump being in office. She said it right out of her mouth. Because you can really say stuff like that nowadays because the masses and the public is so fucking stupid that they don't even realize what you're saying. So you can tell them right in front of, you can just be open about it. Donald Trump lets you know that. I mean, this guy just the other day was musing about killing 10 million people. I mean, just muses out loud about killing 10 million people. He said if he had to go to war in Afghanistan, or was it Afghanistan or Syria, or I think it was Syria or one of the places. He said that he could win that fight, win the war in like a week or 10 days. And he said the only downside is you would have to kill about 10 million people. This is the stuff. This is the world we live in now. When people like this can just muse out loud. Could you imagine if any leader, like let's say in a Middle Eastern country or anywhere, made that same statement? The press would be going absolutely bananas right now. But because it's this dude, no big deal. People just going about their business, doing what they do. Oh Lord, who is this? Return of the Brother Ape. Why are these news on my nuts? Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. Lucy's yielding the gauntlet right now. But why are you on my nuts, dude? Really? Is it gonna be one of those days? We're gonna have the super trolls, like the super scroll. Oh yeah. 19 people are watching. We got 8 thumbs up and 3 thumbs down. So yeah, it's one of those days. The trolls are gonna be out. No problem. I just want y'all trolls to know something though. Whenever y'all do this, when you create these accounts and you thumb down my videos, like this video is probably gonna get crazy ratioed, especially if this guy has time. What happens is the next day or later that day, they erase all of the thumbs up. So you're doing all of that fucking hard work for goddamn nothing. For nothing. Just letting you know that so that way you don't have to waste your time. But I'm quite sure that that's not going to stop these guys. Peace, Darius. Peace. Peace, Bradley. And who else? That's it. The rest of these are trolls. But anyway, I want to ask you guys, of the presidential candidates, let's just deal with that. The presidential candidates. Of the presidential candidates, um, And let's deal with the with the Democrats, because the Republicans are not going to run against. They're not going to primary Trump, obviously. Um, who is the anti-establishment candidate of the people running in the Democratic Party? And like, keep in mind, I'm not talking about who you like, who you don't like, and all this other bullshit, because I'm not out here preaching for y'all to be voting anyway. I'm just saying, from an outside objective standpoint, of the candidates that you see, which one is the anti-establishment candidate? Or which ones? More than one, whatever. Type that in the chat room if you can. You can name one person, you can name multiple persons, whatever. I'm just trying to get an idea of what my people are saying. What's up, Black Atcha? What's up, Odos? Liberace Jr., when are you going to stop sucking my nuts? Let's deal with that question. Fucking clown. Okay, we got Bernie and Tulsi, Bernie and Tulsi, Bernie. Who else? I'm sorry, Black Atcha. I didn't realize you had the gauntlet. My bag. It was taking a little too long. Anybody else? A lot of people in here. Just type in who you think. Don't be afraid. This is not, you're not going to get penalized or be given any points off your grade because you didn't answer the question right. But I'm just trying to get an idea of, do people actually know what anti-establishment means? Kexia says Bernie, Warren, Tulsi. Yep. Yeah, see, this dude is busy today. Oh God, these guys are so funny. Black privilege says Tulsi. New Jersey Progressive Indy says, honestly, none of them, anyone aligned with the Democrats is running as one is not anti-establishment. Not necessarily. I get what you're saying, but that's not necessarily true. And that's basically, oh, well, I'll get into that. Bernie and Tulsi, Vic Shepard says. Anybody else? Fatty Black says, I don't know what it means. Anti-establishment? Well, establishment means, like I said, the definition is the establishment is a dominant group or elite that holds power or authority in a nation or in an organization. It may comprise of closed social group which selects its own members or specific entrenched elite structures, either in government or in specific institutions. Anybody else? Okay, I'll take that. You're right. If you had to pick the anti-establishment candidates in this running, um, meaning the candidates that the establishment would not want to be president in a million years, number one on the list would be Bernie Sanders. Number one on the list. They would rather have Donald Trump in office as president than to have Bernie Sanders as president. Which just goes to show you that the problem with Trump isn't that he's anti-establishment. The problem with Trump is that he says the loud stuff, the stuff that's supposed to be quiet, out loud. He's like a bull in a china shop. They don't like Donald Trump's decorum. That's what they don't like about Trump. They don't like the fact that he says this shit and does all of these policies and says it out loud what he's for and what he's against. They like to keep that on the down low. They like to keep that quiet. They like to pull the wool over people's eyes. They like to um, do what I call sleight of hand. Look over here at my left hand while the right hand is doing this. Donald Trump just lets you know what he's about. He's as establishment as it comes because his interest is tied closely to all the other rich pricks and elites in this country. So nothing fundamentally will change policy wise with Donald Trump being in office. Now, the only thing is that because he's a bull in a china shop and because he's not afraid to actually do bigoted and racist and xenophobic shit, it makes them look bad. It makes the establishment look bad, and they don't like that. They don't like his mean tweets. They don't like the fact that he's uncouth. All of that. That's what they don't like about Trump. But in terms of policy, they love Trump because what did Trump do in the 2 years that he's been president? Tax cuts for the rich. He didn't build no fucking wall. And this is what I always ask: if you have a Trump supporter, ask them this question: why did Trump not build a wall when he had control of the Congress and the Senate? The Republicans had complete control of supermajority over the Congress and the Senate. Why didn't he build the wall then? Because you dumb motherfucker, he never intended to build no wall. He doesn't fucking care about a wall. He used the wall as red meat for his dumb backwoods hick base. Because he knew it would inflame them and get them excited. Oh, get the wall, build the wall, keep these motherfuckers out. La 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 la. In the meantime, what did he actually do? What did he actually pass in the 2 years that he had control? Tax cuts for the rich. So, if you support Donald Trump, if you think Donald Trump is anti establishment, if you think that Donald Trump represents the working class man, you are a fucking idiot. And the only thing dumber than you, and the only thing more incompetent than you, and the only thing that's going to ensure that Donald Trump is president for another 4 years is the Washington Generals, otherwise known as the Democratic Party. Because the Democratic Party, if you think the Republicans and the establishment hate Bernie Sanders, they can't hold a fucking candle to what the Democrat and the Democratic Party feel about Bernie Sanders. And I've been saying this since 2016. Bernie Sanders in a head-to-head competition with Donald Trump is beating Donald Trump by about 10 points in the general election in every fucking poll. There's not a poll that's been taken where Trump is beating Bernie Sanders. And he's beating him in his own red states. So, if the Democrats was actually concerned about beating Trump, they would have ran Bernie Sanders in 2016. Why didn't they? Because they're not anti-establishment. They don't give a fuck about the working class people. They want an establishment candidate in there that does absolutely nothing. That's why Joe Biden is being pushed as the head or the lead for the Democrats. Why? Because Joe Biden has told you, I'm not going to do shit. I don't believe in Medicare for all. I don't believe in free college tuition. I don't believe in a living wage. I don't believe in ending the wars. I'm just, listen, you just need an adult in the room. Make me president and you won't get any mean tweets. You won't get Donald Trump up there acting like a goddamn fool. I'm going to keep things just the way that they are. Which is a great, like that. Can you imagine? Like that's really going to get you to go to the polls. Hey, I'm not going to do shit for you, but hey, you don't want this guy in office. Put me there. I'm the adult in the room. Yeah, Ronan Black says Bernie was on Fox News and had Trump supporters applauding him because, contrary to popular belief, Republicans and Democrats and Americans across the board are really more progressive than they are conservative. If you was a poll, like I think Medicare for all is polling like at around 70 or 80%. It might be even higher. Medicare for all. The thing that they say is going to ruin this country, but yet 80% of the people in this country want it. Living wage is polling the majority. Americans want minimum wage, living wage. They support that. That's not radical. How can it be radical if 70 to 80% of the American public support the policy position? And who supports these working class positions? Who supports Medicare for all? Who supports free college tuition? Who supports a minimum wage and a living wage? Who supports ending the wars? One group of people that support that are the four women that they call the squad that are Justice Democrats. It's a wing of the Democratic Party called Justice Democrats. Another wing and a group that the establishment can't stand. They can't stand them. This is a fact. Because I've heard people say, "Oh, well, like they try to make it seem as if AOC is a plant or something. Like her real intentions is to work for the. First of all, just do the bare minimum of research. Do the bare minimum of research. I hate when people just talk out of their ass. Do you know who the Justice Democrats are? Do you know what their platform is? Their platform is that you have to take a pledge that you can't take corporate PACs and big money. Did you know that? That no, I think that the minimum, I think what's the maximum? It's about 2,500 if I'm not mistaken, y'all. If anybody knows that. I think is it 25 or 26, something like that. I know it's under $3,000 is the max. Anything over that would be considered well actually yeah, like if you go over that, I think that that would be considered a big donation or something like that. But I know it's not. It's something like 25, $2,600. Um, her money is all from small donations or donations at around that range. So she doesn't get any Wall Street money. She doesn't get any fossil fuel money. This is a fact. This is a fact. None of these people. And that's the reason why they can do the things that they do and get so much pushback and violation because they're not holding to any of these big corporate interests. But every fucking body on that stage is, including Donald Trump, including Joe Biden, including Kamala Harris, including Cory Booker. None of these motherfuckers is anti-establishment candidates. So my thing is this: if I'm a working class person, why the fuck do I give a shit about the interests of rich elites? Why? Why do I care about an estate tax where a motherfucker who's a billionaire dies and he has to worry about the government taking about 90% of his money after he's dead? Fuck him. Why should I give a fuck? I don't give a shit if the government takes all your goddamn money and your kid don't get shit. What does that have to do with me? I'm not going to be a billionaire. Why am I worried about the interests of fucking billionaires and rich elite assholes who don't give a shit about me? I'm a working class person. So if I'm a working class person and I have a candidate or a movement that's pushing for Medicare for all, where I can get health care without going broke and losing my house, free college tuition, a living wage where you can work 40 hours a week and actually afford to live and not engaging in a $2 trillion war and counting, that's working class positions. But yet you got people out here attacking AOC, attacking Bernie Sanders, attacking the squad, when the squad is actually pushing policy positions that help average working everyday people. But that's who you jump up and you pile on with the establishment to start kicking and beating and, like I said, WWEing them up. When the system is attacking somebody, look and see why they're being attacked. Because the system don't attack Joe Biden. The system doesn't attack Kamala Harris. As a matter of fact, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren is a special case because she's half in and half out. She's like if Bernie Sanders was Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Warren would be Tito. She's got one foot in the establishment and one foot in the progressive side. It's like there's a lot of things that people don't like about, like the establishment doesn't like about Elizabeth Warren, but they would take her over Bernie Sanders because she at least um looks like she will compromise with the establishment for things because she's not really for Medicare for all. I think she's for a minimum wage, but she's not for a living wage. She's like waffles on all of the major issues on what they call major progressive issues. She's a waffler. So when you get somebody that waffles like that, the system would love to have them. They don't want her at all. Like if they have their choice, they would pick Joe Biden. Joe Biden would be the number one pick for the establishment and for the Democrats and for the Republicans because Joe Biden is really a Republican anyway. That's who they really want. Who they'll settle for is Kamala Harris because she's a little bit more politically astute than Joe Biden is. And like I said, she's smarter than Hillary Clinton was. So I think personally that Kamala Harris is going to be the one who gets the nod from the Democratic Party. That's what I think personally, because she checks all the boxes. She's a person of color. Here we go. She fakes progressive policies, and she's totally establishment. There's not an anti-establishment bone in Kamala Harris's body. So the establishment knows that if they get Kamala Harris as president, they got nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. But if they get Bernie Sanders as president, first of all, that's not going to happen. Bernie Sanders, you listen, I will probably listen. I'm willing to eat my words, but I'm willing to make this promise to y'all here today, July 26, 2019 at 12:37 p.m. Bernie Sanders will not get the Democratic nomination. The one guy who can beat Donald Trump is not going to be picked by the Democratic Party. Trust me. Trust me. Oh yeah, Vic, that's what's exactly going to happen. she's going to go she's going to go and run against Trump and she's going to lose. Yeah, because they're not, yes, right, Kexia. Trump will be reelected because they're not going to pick the person that can beat him because they don't want Bernie Sanders to be president. And like I said, this doesn't matter whether you like Bernie Sanders, whether you think Bernie Sanders is a good candidate, whether you agree with Bernie Sanders' policies, whatever. That's not what the point of this is. The point is look at it objectively and ask yourself, who does the establishment want as their president? And it damn sure ain't Bernie Sanders. Do you think they want AOC and Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and what's the other girl, Ayanna Presley, and all of these people running around Congress? Do you think they want those type of people in the Senate? Keep it real. So that's what I'm saying. Listen, I don't give a fuck about American politics. Let me make that 100% clear. I do not care who the president is. It doesn't matter. If Trump becomes president another 4 years, I mean, I did. The only thing that mattered to me is that I didn't get the tax return that I usually get because of this dumbass being in office. That's the only thing that affected me. Like, I usually get a nice chunk of change on my tax return. This year I didn't get shit. I basically broke even. I mean, I got something back, but it wasn't nothing for me to even do anything with. So that's my, like me, I don't like the fact that I got me a small tax return. And that's the only thing I really fucking care about. That's the only thing that's affecting me by this fucking idiot being in office. And I don't know, yo, for the people in here working, how was your tax return? Just one for just put one, press number one if your tax return was good, or number two if your tax return was shit. I don't want to know what you got. That's none of my business. But just put a one or a two. One for good, two for bullshit. Let me type that shit in. Yeah, everybody got fucked by this dude. But yet, oh, Ace. Oh, congratulations, Ace. We got one who had a good tax return. I mean, I got a return, but it was way less than I usually get. Like when I get the tax return, oh, Fatty Black, you got a good return? Good compared, like, in other words, the tax return that you got was on par with what you got the previous year. Oh, Ace. Ace said that he thought one was bad. No, two is bad. So only Fatty Black got or maybe does Fatty Black feel that he got a good tax return or a bad one? Oh, really? Yeah, everybody else. Well, I don't know. We need to look. Yo, Fatty, refer me to your accountant, son. And I have a really good accountant. I've been getting really good tax returns, but he did certain things and changed the rules and all of this stuff, and it really affected me, man. So that's what I feel like. That's my bottom line. But unfortunately, I'm going to get another bad return because this motherfucker is going to get reelected, man. He's going to get reelected because the Democrats, like I said, they would much rather have Donald Trump as president than to have a Bernie Sanders as president because Bernie Sanders wants to push policies that's going to fundamentally change how the system works here in America. And they don't want that. They want things to stay the same. So, Fatty, you never got that before? Because I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you did it yourself. Okay. Do you do it every year yourself? Or do you get a accountant to do it? Yeah, I wish if mine was the same or a little bit less than last year, Ronan, I wouldn't even be complaining. I wouldn't even be complaining because my last year was pretty good. It was good enough for me to, do something with. Because like throughout the year, like I do zero throughout the year. I let them take whatever the fuck they're gonna take, and then at the end, I know I'm gonna get me a nice big chunk of change. So it kind of works out for me. But this year, they did zero. and took what they did, but then at the end I didn't get, nowhere near a big chunk of change. I got, I got a return on the state, and I got a return on the federal, but nothing. Like you said, I got a quarter of what I got the last time. Absolutely horrendous. But yeah, that's the whole thing, man. These Voteps, they're going to go out here and they're going to vote for Joe Biden. They're going to go out here and they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. And these idiots actually think that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is going to beat Donald Trump. Because when push come to shove, remember, this has happened before. I remember when George Bush was running for a second term, and that movie Fahrenheit 9/11 had came out. There was so much anti-George Bush propaganda that you said there's no way that this guy is going to win and get in for a second term. And what happened? He won. And the reason why he won is because white folks riot quietly. They don't go out and march. They don't go out and protest. They riot quietly. Remember what happened when OJ was found not guilty? White people didn't go out in the streets. White people rioted quietly. And that's a scary type of riot. And what I mean by that is all your white coworkers who was sitting up there telling you, yeah, I hate Bush, da da da. They went right into that voting booth and pulled the lever for George Bush, and then came back to the office and sat there looking at the newspaper with you or looking at the TV with you in shock that George Bush won. Oh shit, how did that happen? Because your white ass voted for him again. Because that's all that fucking. At the end of the day, this is a white country. They only care about white interests. They don't give a shit about you. These liberals don't give a fuck about you. These conservatives don't give a fuck about you. These independents don't give a fuck about you. The bottom line is nobody gives a fuck about you, nigga. Nobody. Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, nobody fucking cares about you. When are you gonna fucking get it through your thick skulls? Nobody. Nobody. At the end of the day, like the best that you could do, and I'll be honest with you, even the so-called progressives, it's not that they care about you. It's just that you would incidentally benefit from the policies that they're trying to push for everybody in America. But it doesn't mean that they have a special interest or they looking out for black people. You would just benefit incidentally because the policies, you would fall under the policies that everybody else is falling under. So if you had to vote for somebody, that would probably be the one that you vote for if you're into this voting thing. But for you to vote for any of these establishment candidates, you are a fucking moron. You actually think Joe Biden gives a shit about you, is going to do anything to help you? Because my thing is, if Joe Biden wants to be president or Kamala Harris wants to be president, then what the fuck are they doing that makes you want to go out and vote for them and make them president? What do you get out of them being a president? Kexia says, we're just used to help progressives get their policies passed. Exactly. Exactly. But I will say this, if progressives get their policy passed, some black people will benefit from those policies just by it's be incidental. It's like what I tell brothers about the court system when it comes to men and women. Do you think that the courts was designed for black women? No. But black women will benefit from it incidentally because it's really designed for white women. And the fact that they're women, they'll benefit from it rather than a man benefiting from it. Peace. What's up, Monifa? What's up, Lance? What's up, Joel? Am I missing anybody? I think I said hello to everybody. Hello to everyone in the chat room. If I missed you, it wasn't because I was ignoring you. I just don't see your name or I missed your name. But But that's my whole point, man. It's like I love you. In order for you to really know how this shit works, you can't be in it. You got to be looking at it from the outside. And because I don't care about Democrats, I don't care about Republicans, I don't care about progressives, I don't care about any of these people enough to really support them and go out there and do anything for them. I can look at it objectively and I can see um in terms of policies what will benefit black folks the most in America. You know, you got to look at it from that perspective. What would you benefit from? And don't think that anybody is doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for you. Anything that you get or any benefit that you have will be incidental. If they do it for American people, then basically they're doing it for black people if you're living in America. That's about it. But it's not because they were thinking about you. It's not because they had your best interest at heart and all this other bullshit. You'll just be umbrellaed under that American title like everybody else. And the Republicans, who's a Republican that's pushing for working class policies? Name one. Name one. I'm serious. Type a name of a Republican that's pushing for working class policies for everyday working class Americans. One Republican. I'm willing to bet a paycheck that you can't type one. I don't see nobody typing. I don't see nobody type. That's why when this whole discussion about, oh, the Democrats, that's the problem. Black folks is all down with the Democratic Party. Yeah, that's true. Black folks is all down with the Democratic Party and ain't getting shit out of the Democratic Party. But that don't mean that just because the Democrats ain't doing shit for you, the Republicans is going to be doing something for you. That don't mean that. Like I said, they want to act like the Democrats is pretty Tony and the Republicans is Goldie and we the hoe. So we're gonna leave Pretty Tony and we're gonna choose to be with Goldie, which is the Republican Party. Get the fuck out of here. Rand Paul, hell no. Hell no, Kexia. Rand Paul. Nobody. There's nobody that I can think of that's pushing for working class policies in the Republican Party. All the Republicans, Rand Paul included, is about tax cuts for the rich and so-called small government, meaning they want to be able to do whatever they want to with no oversight and no checks and balances. That's what that small government shit means. Leave me and my money alone. But I'm glad the majority of people in here know what an actual anti-establishment candidate is. Bernie Sanders is an anti-establishment candidate by every metric. And like I said, I don't give a shit whether you like Bernie Sanders or you hate him. He's an anti-establishment candidate. The establishment does not want that motherfucker as their president. Bottom line. Tulsi Gabbard. They do not want Tulsi Gabbard as the president of the United States. Bottom line. So she's anti-establishment. Bottom line. The establishment does not want Elizabeth Warren as president, but in a worst case scenario, they'll take her. In a worst case scenario, they'll take her, but they don't want her as president. I mean, and I'm talking about worst case scenario. They would have to be their absolute last resort to keep power. They would put Elizabeth Warren in office because they know that they can. She would compromise with them. Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, no, not going to really compromise. And who else? Who else? Is there another anti-establishment candidate running in the race that I can think of? No, that's about it. So If the Democrats really wanted to win this election, this is what they would do. They would run Bernie Sanders as their president, and they would have Tulsi Gabbard as his VP. Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard would curb stomp Donald Trump and Mike Pence and probably win the election in record fashion. In record fashion. There's your winning ticket. Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard. If the Democratic Party was to run Bernie Sanders with Tulsi Gabbard as the VP, that's why that shit will never fucking happen. That shit will never fucking happen. And you heard it here first. July 26, 2019 at 12:54 p.m. It will not happen. Yeah, Bernie Sanders, listen, first of all, no third party candidate is going to win a general election in America. It's not going to happen because the system is too stacked against third parties. This is a two-party country, a two-party system. People can talk that third party all they fucking want to. It's not going to happen. Bernie Warren ticket? Yeah. Well, all right, if Bernie is running, it really doesn't matter. Like if Bernie was to pick either Warren or Tulsi, I believe that he could beat Donald Trump. It's just that she would not be like I said, she would not be the ideal person to team with him. Because Bernie's blind spot is foreign policy, and that's Tulsi's strong point. So she kind of balances him out, you know. Elizabeth Warren is horrible on foreign policy. She's really not. Her main thing is Wall Street. Her strongest thing is Wall Street. That's who the people that she fights against. The like in terms of that, I think she's number one when it comes to that, fighting against Wall Street. But if he were to take her over Tulsi, he would be risking it. It would be cutting shit real close. But if he were to take Tulsi, he would Bernie and Tulsi would win. I can't really see anybody the Republicans run that would beat them. Yeah, Warren's good about going after the bankers, true. That's objectively true. That's her thing. That's her strong point. But I don't see Warren being good when it comes to international and because the vice president is going to be doing a lot of diplomacy overseas, and I think Tulsi Gabbard is perfect for that because not only is she a military person, but she's actually very strong on foreign policy. Darius says Elizabeth Warren is not even fully against Wall Street. She says she would take a Wall Street money in her general election. Actually, Darius is correct. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. She's a compromiser. Push come to shove. Why didn't she pissed off the progressives last time because she didn't back Bernie Sanders? She was very political in what she did. What she did was she basically waited till the race between Bernie and Hillary was over, and then she jumped on Hillary's bandwagon. But she had an opportunity to fully back Bernie, and then maybe Bernie would have beat Hillary, but she didn't do that. So she was political and she was calculated, which means she can't be fucking trusted. And I know I said trust doesn't matter, but listen, consistency matters, not trust. And she's not consistent. Like I said, Bernie Sanders would be Michael Jackson and Elizabeth Warren would be Tito. So he might take her, but I doubt if he would. I think that if he were to get the nod, he would take Tulsi. But this is all, we're just sitting up here guessing because he's not going to get the nod. Bernie Sanders is not going to get the nod for presidency for the Democrats because it's obvious. If you look at television, you look at online, you look just everywhere that the DNC is, they are firmly against Bernie Sanders. They are firmly against AOC. They are firmly against the squad. And I'm telling you, I'm a big Ilhan Omar fan. Like right now, that every time I hear that woman talk, I'm like sitting up there like with googly eyes. I love Ilhan Omar, man. She is a fucking gangster. She doesn't give a fuck. She gives zero fucks. Yep, Darius, the establishment will go for Kamala or Joe. Kamala or Joe. I think Kamala personally. I don't think Joe Biden is gonna last. He looked like, did you see that first Democratic debate? He looked confused. He looked like, what the fuck is going on? He just and I believe he's kind of senile too. That's what I think. When I listen to him talk, Kamala Harris is much smarter than him. As far as an establishment politician, Kamala Harris is actually above the curve. She's not a dummy, and she knows how to handle herself. Like she was very good in that debate. She knows how to say what she needs to say. She knows how to read the room. You know, she's completely and utterly full of shit. But I mean, that comes with being a politician. You know, what do we ask? What are we judging when it comes to establishment politicians? A says Hillary is mostly quiet these days for now, which is a shocker. Not really. I guess because she knows that she's toxic to anybody. Like she doesn't want to attach herself to anybody that's a mainstream dim Republican, dim establishment candidate because she knows if she does that, they'll probably lose. So she's kind of staying in the background. Yeah, Darius, I know. Ayanna Presley voted against the boycott, divestment, and sanctions against Israel, which is very confusing to me. Like when I found out that she did, it really threw me for a loop because I'm like, well, wait a minute, why are you doing that? Like, I don't want to get into that, but I feel I did hear about that. It didn't make any fucking sense to me. But when you get, I'm telling you, when you get, and people got to watch the squad because just because people start off with good intentions, but when they get into that machine and they start wheeling and dealing and they see they can get some money out of the deal, people start compromising their positions. Maybe Ayanna Presley is one of them. I don't know. I don't know. But Tulsi voted against it too, which was shocking. Ro Khanna voted against it too, which was shocking. But like I said, man, it's like this is why I don't fucking care. I don't care about because imagine if you fucking was really behind these people and was really caring about this shit. You would be fucking heartbroken right now. And a lot of these progressives are heartbroken by the fact that these guys voted against it. Don't don't get personally involved with this shit. It's much easier to know what's going on when you step outside of it and look at it from the outside. Don't get involved with these people, man. Don't get involved with these personalities. Don't get involved with these movements. But just look at them for what they are. Look at them for what they are. Like I acknowledge who the DNC is. I acknowledge who the Republican Party is. I acknowledge who the Justice Democrats and all these other progressive parties. And I acknowledge the Green Party and all these other parties. But I also know none of these parties give a fuck about black people. That's just what it is. None of them. They're not working for the interests of our people. The only people that's going to work for our interests is us. So don't get involved in the American political show that's going on right now because that's all it is. It's a show. It's for ratings. That's why they push this shit like, the fucking next MCU movie because it's all about ratings. Oh, the next Democratic debate. Da 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 da. It's all about ratings. It's all about clicks and views and shit. The establishment wants to put somebody in office that's going to keep shit the way that it is. Hillary Clinton would have probably been going to war with Syria worse than Trump. And I can't watch TV, man. I can't watch the news. Can't watch it. I'm sitting up there looking at Donald Trump saying that Ilhan Omar loves Al Qaeda when this motherfucker is selling arms to Saudi Arabia that's going right to Al Qaeda. He's more pro Al Qaeda than she is. But does your news broadcasters ever say that? They just hold a mic and like, oh wow, look at what Donald Trump said. Isn't that outrageous? Like, aren't you the fucking news? Aren't you supposed to be educating people about policies, about what's a fact and what's not? You just allow a motherfucker, I don't give a shit if he's the president, to just blatantly lie and you don't say shit? I can't sit there and watch this. During the Democratic debate, they allowed this question. They said, how many of you want to abolish um, health insurance? What was it? No, private health insurance. How many of you want to abolish private health insurance? They allowed that question to be asked. We're in the Medicare for All bill that everybody is pushing. That would be supplemental health care. It wouldn't abolish it. It means that if you wanted private insurance, you can go and get private insurance. But the default insurance would be handled or paid for by the government. That was a question that was asked on a Democratic debate that was framed like a right winger. Like somebody asked, I said, if that was me on the stage, I would have said, wait a minute. Is this Fox News that I'm on? I'm thinking, wait, I thought this was a Democratic debate. Why are we framing the question like it's a right wing framing? Oh God, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Adwa, what's up? Sorry, I'm talking, running my mouth. I didn't see you. And you've been there for a while. I apologize. I guess the troll got tired. There was a guy. That's why I have 10 dislikes on my video. It was out of control, Adwa, before you came in. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's the only point I wanted to make. I was just getting frustrated with seeing people ganging up on what those girls they call the squad, because all of those girls, as a matter of fact, hold on, right, so that people won't think I'm just talking shit, let me prove it to you. I'm going to go to the Justice Democrats platform. This is the Justice Democrats platform, and I'm going to post the Justice Democrats platform in the chat. So you can go there and you can see that these are the radical, extreme left positions. Okay. Secure a living wage and tie it to inflation. Ooh, that's extreme. I mean, I know nobody in this chat room wants a living wage, right? Tied to inflation, meaning that your salary will go up according to the inflation and according to the cost of living to wherever you are. Nobody wants that, right? Ronan Black says exactly, Holip, and I got people I know jumping down my throat because I don't go along with the sycophantic love for the Democratic Party. Fuck the Democratic Party. Fuck the Democratic Party. Democratic Party are the Washington Generals. The Democratic Party is there to lose and make the fucking Harlem Globetrotters, which is the Republican Party, look good. And people need to know that there's a big difference between a Democrat and a fucking progressive. Whether you like the progressives or don't like them, there's a difference between a progressive and a Democrat. Just because they are There's a progressive wing in the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? All of these terms have been so co-opted, like liberal has been co-opted. Even progressive is being co-opted. Um, Darius says both Democrats and Republicans are cons. They are both the same. One is more extreme. Not really. They're both. Well, no, you're right. You're right. I apologize. Yeah, the one is more extreme. The Republicans are definitely more extreme because there really is no extreme left. This is. Let me read to you what the extreme left is compared to extreme right is fucking the alt right. That's the extreme right for the right wingers, like people that's fucking with the Klan. It's like that's the extreme right. This is the extreme left. The extreme left is for a living wage, a federal jobs guarantee, rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure, blocking bad trade deals, ending tax dodging and loopholes, ending unnecessary wars and nation building, Medicare for all, free public colleges and trade schools, blah, 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 blah. That's the extreme left. The extreme right is the fucking Klan and burning crosses. So, yeah, you're right, Darius. I'm sorry I even went against you on that. UBI actually, I don't know why I'm even talking about UBI because that's something that I have all right, if I'm sitting here and I have to pretend that I'm pro America and that I have no intentions of going anywhere else and I want to stay here, UBI would be good in conjunction with a living wage. But if the thing with the UBI is, and especially if you're talking about Andrew Yang, he supports UBI and he doesn't support a minimum or a living wage. So for him, it's one or the other. It's not like UBI would be in addition or supplementing a living wage. UBI would basically replace the minimum. So he's like, oh, I'm putting $1,000 in your pocket each month. So that why do you need a living wage? I don't know about you, but $1,000 is not enough. $1,000 is good supplementally, but it's not enough to maintain. Yeah, Kexi, if I had to be Captain America Holip for a second and look at UBI by itself without the living and minimum wage, I wouldn't support it, but I would support it in addition to the minimum or living wage, if that makes sense. Um, UBI is basically reparations to everybody with another name. Yeah, basically. That pretty much sums it up, Ace. Darius says all progressives are Democrats, but not all Democrats are progressives. It's like saying all black separatists are black nationalists, but not all black nationalists are black separatists. Bingo. Bingo. You got it. But yeah, I think I made my point. That was the point that I was trying to make. I was just trying to say that a lot of people picking these candidates and thinking that these candidates is anti-establishment. They don't have a fucking clue what anti-establishment is. If you're a working class person in this country, then your ticket should be Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard. Hands down. Hands down. Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard is your ticket. If you're a working class person in America, that's the ticket you should be supporting. But, like I said, Bernie Sanders is not going to get the nomination. Trust me on that. You see the great lengths that they did to get him or cheat him out of that race with Hillary Clinton. That pales in comparison to what they're going to do to him now. So prepare yourself for in either way, you lose. Black people going to lose no matter what. If Trump wins, black people are going to lose. If Biden wins, black people are going to lose. If Kamala wins, black people are going to lose. If Elizabeth Warren wins, black people are going to lose. You know, they're going to lose regardless. But I leave out Elizabeth Warren and what's her name? I'll just say Biden or Kamala, because really those are the three. It's going to be either Biden or Kamala going against Trump. And there's a good chance that if Biden gets what they want is for Biden to win, because if Biden gets the nod, he's going to pick Kamala as his VP. Trust. Trust. So even if Biden and Kamala win against Trump, black folks are still going to lose because you're not going to get anything out of the deal. So for all these reparations people who think that you're going to get reparations um, if Biden becomes president, oh my God, how the fuck can you possibly think that? And look at yourself seriously in the mirror. At least Bernie Sanders told you, no, I'm not for it. At least he didn't bullshit you. You may not like it, but he did not bullshit you. He told you straight up, no, I'm not. I don't support that policy. But Kamala and all these other people is doing tap dances and making you think that they're going to give you reparations. You're not getting reparations, nigga. Sorry. None of these people is going to vote for no reparations. None of these people is going to pass a bill that's going to go through the Congress and go through the Senate and be approved by a president that's going to give reparations to black people. If you think that, you are fucking delusional. You are absolutely delusional. Exactly. Joe No Bussin' Biden is going to provide reparations for black folks. He didn't even want your ass going to a white school. And he's going to give you reparations. This guy stands with segregationists and he's going to give you reparations. Are you really that fucking stupid? Yes, is the answer. Yes, they are really that stupid. They really, really think that they're going to get some reparations from any of these Democratic politicians. And oh, what's the girl, the lady who's for it is polling like 0%. What's her name? Marianne Williamson? She supports it. Actually, she legitimately supports reparations, white woman. She's polling at 0% though. So good luck with that one. Darius says I am just confused of the extreme left. Bernie Sanders is a social democrat, not a democratic socialist. Terminology matters. I've been making that point for the longest, man. I've been making that point for the longest. It's because nobody really pays attention to definitions. They don't have Alex. What's the name? Alex Jones called Bernie Sanders a communist. What? Do you even know what a communist is? You dipshit. Yeah, Kexi, I don't blame you. I mean, Marianne Williamson. If you could listen, if you're going to make a symbolic vote, vote for Marianne Williamson. She's the one who actually supports reparations. She's polling at 0% and she's not going to get the nomination, and basically it's more of a symbolic vote than anything else, but you should at least vote for the candidate that actually supports it. She's not for HR or whatever. She actually supports reparations, meaning that if she was president, she says she would sign the bill if it was presented to her for black folks to get reparations. Oh, Kexia says when Marianne Williamson came out for reparations, all those so-called progressive turned their back on her. They showed their true colors. Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. So if black folks are going to make a symbolic vote, vote for the person who says that they would pass a reparations bill, and she's the only one that says that they would do it. Not even Bernie has said that he would do it. But like I said, Bernie at least didn't bullshit you. He told you that he wouldn't do it. I respect that actually. I'm sorry. I actually respect when somebody just tells you the fucking truth and doesn't try to bullshit you. But yeah, she's the only one that says that she would support reparations, and if it comes to my desk as president, I would sign for it. I don't know if anybody knows that, but Marianne Williamson. I don't know what her policies is on everything else. I think she's kind of might be. I wouldn't say. But then again, I don't know. She might be establishment on other policies. I have to go. I don't really know much about Marianne Williamson. Where does she stand on these progressive policies? Is she for them or is she against them? I mean, y'all might know more about her than I do, but I just recently discovered her, and I did discover that she is for reparations. So if you want your symbolic vote, and you know that um, you're not going to get reparations through any of the other candidates, then vote for her if you're going to vote. Adjua says, how many black people know about her? Not much, probably. I know ADOS knows about her because she said she came out in support of it. So a lot of them got her in their mouths. And I guess that makes sense. Kexia says Bernie was truthful about his position on reparations, but didn't he approve reparations for Jewish people in his district? So he gets a side eye from me on that. But does it really shock you? Listen, Kexia, I don't think any of these people are really working for the interests of black folks. They're only working for the interests of themselves and their own people, or better case, or best yet, the American people as a plural or a general. They're not really working for us. So the fact that Bernie Sanders would push, like if he would sign or approve reparations for Jewish people and not black people, makes perfect sense to me because I never thought that Bernie Sanders was some pro-black candidate anyway. None of these people are pro-black. None of them are pro-black candidates. None of them care about the interests of black people. And I'll say it once, I'll say it again, and I'll say it before this live stream ends. Nigga, nobody cares about you. You are incidental to these people. You may benefit incidentally from whatever policies that they pass. Nobody cares about you. Democrats don't care about you. Republicans don't care about you. Progressives don't care about you. Conservatives don't care about you. The Green Party don't care about you. The independent parties don't care about you. Nobody fucking cares about black people. And why should they? Why should they? If we don't fucking care about ourselves, why should we expect somebody to care about us? We don't want to form no government or form no institutions, form no base of operations to actually look out for the interests of our own people. And we expect people that we begging to do it for us or to even fucking care? I'm sorry, I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at us as being the fucking assholes. I don't expect Bernie Sanders. I don't expect Joe Biden. I don't expect Kamala Harris. I don't expect Tulsi Gabbard. I don't expect Elizabeth Warren. I don't expect none of these fucking candidates to work in our interest. And I'll say it once and I'll say it once. I'll say it again. The BAIO basically took shape and form under the presidency of Barack Obama. The time where everybody was putting down their bags and getting comfortable here in America, that's when we decided that, you know what, we need our own fucking nation. And we haven't stopped since then. So it doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter who wins these elections. What matters is, when are we going to form our own government? When are we going to start organizing amongst ourselves? When are we going to start electing our own officials that represent us and represent our interests outside of the context of the American fucking government? So I'll end this live stream on that, man. Stop thinking that anybody gives a fuck about black people. But to go into the title of this video and what the whole point was, know what anti-establishment actually means. Stop talking about anti-establishment candidates and voting for a person because they anti-establishment if you don't even fucking know what anti-establishment means. Because if you're voting for Joe Biden and you're voting for Kamala Harris, you are not anti-establishment. And your ass is going to get kicked by Donald Trump in 2020. Anyway, that's all I got to say for the day. Anybody got any questions or anything before I get off of here? I'm going to get off in about 7 minutes. If nobody does, I'm gonna get off now. But if you have any questions, Ronan says I'm going to write in Thanos, Loki, or the Joker for the vote in 2020. Yeah, might as well. Might as well. A vote for Thanos. Oh, Bruce Leroy. Sorry, I have. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that totally. Let me go up and see what he said. Sorry, I had to look up who the hell Andrew Yang was to keep it 100. I haven't been paying attention to the election. If Bernie Sanders isn't nominated, I'm not voting. Then I guess you won't be voting. I guess you will not be voting because Bernie Sanders is not going to get elected, even though he's the only one that can actually beat Trump in the red states as a Democrat. He's not going to get voted in. Darius says, "Are you celebrating Liberian Independence Day?" Nope. No, I am not. I'm celebrating my bed today when this live stream is over. I really like maybe I'm being a little bit hard on Liberia, but my thing was we formed Liberia. We made Liberia a developed nation, and what did we get for it? We got shot and executed and taken over on by a coup by the quote unquote indigenous Liberian people. So that discussion is over. It reminds me of what Del Jones from Philadelphia, rest in peace, said. Martin Luther King believed in nonviolence. Martin Luther King got a bullet to his neck or something. That discussion is over. I remember Del Jones said that in a lecture, and I was cracking up. He said that discussion is over about nonviolence. The man who preached nonviolence got killed violently. Discussion over. And I feel the same way about Liberia. We ruled in Liberia, and we were taken out of leadership and rule by the native Liberian people. So I think that what aren't people going to vacation in Liberia now? Isn't Liberia thriving and prospering under native Liberian rule? What nobody's wait, what's up? Nobody's going to Liberia this year? What's going on? We ain't gonna take a trip and go out to those nice beaches and hotels and and experiencing that clean running water and electricity over there. What's the deal? Raise your hand. Who's for going to Liberia? Forget Rwanda. Let's go to Liberia in November. Raise your hand. Press one if you want to go to Liberia. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I just find it funny that people, oh, why don't we go? We're going to go to Liberia to become citizens and live under the rule of native Liberians, a country and a term that we created. Think about that. You're going to go, this was your nation. You got kicked out of your nation, and now you're going to go back and merge or live under the socioeconomic and political domination of the native people that's running the country right now. Are you fucking kidding me? Is that a joke? The fuck out of here. I'm, so, I'm sorry, man. I'm just pissed off about that whole Liberia situation. If Liberia wants to get down, if the native Liberians want to get down on their hands and knees and beg African Americans to come over and run that place, then maybe we have a conversation. But if you expect me to go and live under their incompetent rulership, you must be out of your goddamn mind. And tell me, why isn't Liberia one of the top nations in the world right now? Why? You got rid of the evil African Americans, right? Because we were the problem. That's what I always heard in the conscious community. The problem with Liberia was that they were bringing their Western values over to Africa. Well, now that the Western values are gone, how's Liberia now? No Western values to be seen, right? How is the country run now? What's the Liberian economy now? How's the Liberian currency doing? The evil African Americans are gone. I thought that it was supposed because now it's African. Now you don't have any of that Western influence over there. It's all African now. What's going on with it? What's up? Are we going to? I didn't see anybody press one for us to go to Liberia this year. Let me get it. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop dogging Liberia. I think I made my point. Yo, what's up, cuz? Was yesterday's radio broadcast able to be replayed? I'm gonna check that out. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can get the link for the replay. Oh, I did a show. I was interviewed by a show on the UK yesterday. It was for about an hour. I didn't really get a chance to really get too deep into it because the hour just flew by. But I don't know who listened to it, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get the link and I'll post it on my channel so y'all can check it out. But anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. It's 1:29, almost 1:30. I'm gonna get off of here, get me a bite to eat, and then take my ass to bed. Um, what news? Oh, of course, if you're listening to this live stream and you haven't gone to the BAIO and signed up yet, it's BAIOAfricstan.com. I'm sorry, .org. My bag. BAIOAfricstan.org. That's BAIOAFRIKSTAN.org. We're gonna see this Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw movie on the 3rd, which is the Saturday, August 3rd. Um, Not because I really like or want to see this movie. I'm just using it as an opportunity to meet my other BAIO members. So when a big movie comes out, I usually send out an evite and invite everybody to come. And whoever wants to come. Last time I got a chance to meet my brother Jamal and a couple other brothers that I haven't met before, and I got a chance to hang out with Patrick, Fatty Black, and my cousin Angus Black, and the rest of we had a nice little crew. So we're gonna go and see that on the 3rd. Like I said, it ain't my particular cup of tea, but it is a big tentpole movie. So usually I try to arrange events around that. So if people want to see it, we can all hang out together. But anyway, I will holler at you good people later. Love you all. Talk to you later. Peace.